Hello, loves. How is everybody? It is nice to see everybody again. I hope everybody is well. As always, I'm just going to go ahead and post the link of the live to the Patreon so they can join us. But how has everybody been? I hope that everybody had a good New Year, even though we all know, as I said earlier, New Year doesn't start till March. The astrological New Year, anyway, doesn't start till March. So how was everybody's New Year? How is life? Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm really excited to do this live, especially because I couldn't join you guys last week. Babe was not feeling well. But let me just share this live with the Patreon so they can join us, and then we're gonna get started. We have quite a bit of stuff to talk about and discuss, so yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had like a chill New Year's. My New Year's was pretty chill. I just spent it with Babe. We were just chilling in the house, watching Bridgerton. Is that what it's called? Oh my god, that show is crazy. Like crazy. But I actually really enjoyed it. I might just read the books, but I feel like I've seen a lot of people reviewing it, like the books, of not like people not liking the books as much, so we'll see. But I know it has a pretty good fan base though, but it was really like nerve-wracking sometimes. Like the whole show was crazy. Okay, so here we go, and then let me just add the gram in here so we can get started live. Okay. Ooh. Sorry about the shakiness. Okay, it's connecting. Everything's connecting. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let me see how everybody is. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Steph. Hello, I am done. I hope everybody is good. This week we are going to be doing a meditation, and it's going to be a really a quick meditation, but it's going to be a little bit different because I wanted us to connect with this Virgo moon energy that we are experiencing right now. You guys know that every time we do the weekly healing circles, I like to work with the current moon because I feel like it's important for us to work with the moon cycles, especially like for my women out here on a live. It's really important to work with the moon cycles as they're happening. I'm getting in the habit of working with the moon cycles as they're happening. So currently the moon is in Virgo. And so I really wanted to focus the energy on healing, but also grounding, because Virgo's an earth sign, is like half earth, half air in many ways. So I definitely wanted to focus the energy a little bit more on the grounding. So I'm gonna give everybody like a cute like 2-3 minutes. Please go grab your favorite crystal because you're gonna need it. And I'm gonna be picking out a mudra so we can use this in the meditation that you guys are about to do. The crystal is very important. If you definitely need a crystal for this meditation, just because we are going to be channeling that crystal as well. So I want to make sure that you guys are prepared. So make sure you go grab your favorite crystal, please and thank you. So that way we can definitely get this started. So let me just pull out the mudras. Which mudras should we be using for this meditation? Which mudras should we be using for this meditation? Which mudras should we be using? Okay, so we got what, 4 cards jumped out? Let's see what we got. Okay, so the first one, wow. Okay, the first one is balanced energy. Okay, this is what it looks like. Balanced energy. balanced energy. And it says, cultivating balance in all of my activities, I experience greater energy and vitality. Okay? Balanced energy. Balanced energy. Okay, then we have open to receive abundantly. Okay? Open to receive abundantly. Open to receive abundantly. And it says, with greater openness to receive, the divine provides for all of my needs. Okay, open to receive abundantly. This is a really good one. Open to receive abundantly. Okay, the next one is global healing. Talk about some Aquarius vibes. Global healing. Bathe in the light, the crystal light of healing. I experience the sacred wholeness of my being. Wow. That is beautiful. That is beautiful right there. I'm going to re-show you guys again so you guys can go ahead and pick your mudra. But this is going to be the last card. And it says, optimal digestion. The light of Agni purifies my being, supporting my optimal digestion and balanced energy. That's what that looks like. So if you're having some issues, particularly like currently with your solar plexus, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to use for this meditation that we're about to do. Okay. So I'm going to re-show them to y'all so that way you guys can pick. So first, balanced energy. So you can use your middle fingers for something good and productive. Okay. Balanced energy. We have opening to receive abundantly. Okay. Opening to receive abundantly. We have optimal digestion. Okay. And then we have global healing. Global healing. So definitely start putting some hearts in the comments so that way I know that you guys are good to go and we can get started. I'll re-hold them up for you guys. But definitely just let me know in the comments. Hey Lana, how are you? So I'll post. There you go. Once I see a couple of hearts, then we're going to get started. And then let me switch these two. Okay, I am seeing some hearts. Okay, so we are going to get started with the meditation. So as always, I'm going to give you guys my spiel that I always say every week. Please get into a comfortable position. If you would like to get into half lotus, full lotus pose, or if you want to lay on your back, you can do that as well. So go ahead and get comfortable during this time. You want your crystal to be in front of you. So if you are on half lotus, you can put it in between like that cross of your feet. You can put it in between. If you are laying back for this meditation, that's totally 100% fine. You can go ahead and put the crystal either in your belly button, because that's like a trick that I like to use for my crystal shenanigans. You can put it in your belly button. You could put it like where the like band of your underwear starts. Like you can put it on your, you know, us women are very, you know, on top of using our bras and stuff to hold crystals. You could put it there as well. Just try to remember where it is during the meditation, because you're going to need to remember it. So once you got comfortable, you're in your position, you can start to close your eyes and focus on the breath. Okay, start to breathe in and breathe out. Taking deep breaths in and deep breaths out. you are going to start to visualize yourself on a field of grass. And you're breathing in that fresh air. And you're breathing out. Taking in every single breath in. Breathing out. Now, I want you to start to visualize your crystal in front of you in this field of grass. I want you to take a deep breath in and start to visualize a light coming out from your third eye, connecting directly to that crystal. I want you to ask this crystal, what is it that you need to heal right now? Once you have seen what it is that you need to heal right now, I want you to push the light coming from your third eye into the crystal and direct that light back to the area of your body that needs to be healed. You're breathing in. You're breathing out. Maintaining your connection to the light. When you're ready, thank your crystal for allowing you to heal. And start to release your connection. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. When you're ready, you can start to come back. And just let me know in the comments when you're back. I'll give you guys a couple more moments. Let me know how that was in the comments for you guys. I felt like I couldn't come back, but I came back. Yeah, I do feel like sometimes meditations feel very like you can kind of stay there all day kind of vibe. So I feel that. I definitely feel that. The messages for this week is on fire. On fire. What do we collectively to know for this week? We collectively need to know for this week. Collectively need to know. Okay. Whew. Oh my God. The messages for this week. Okay, so I see some people are back, so we're gonna get started on what we need to know for this week. There's kind of a lot of stuff happening because as we approach this new moon in Capricorn that's happening next week, so you will start seeing those shifts, especially with Mars and Venus as well, because Venus will be going into Capricorn, and Mars will be going into Taurus. So there is this shifting energy happening. Gabriel, what do we need to know for this week? Oh, Jesus. Gabriel, ooh, wait, hold on. Angel Gabriel, what do we need to know for this week? What do we need to know for this week? Okay. Oof. Oh my God. Lord. Okay. I will say what, like, the main overall message that's really coming up hard this week really highlights the energy, like, especially with relationships right now. And I'm not really surprised that this is happening, because you do have this like Venus shift going from Sag into Capricorn, which tends to be more serious when it comes to love matters. And so there is a seriousness that because Sagittarius can be very playful and very lighthearted when it comes to relationships a lot of the time. What planetary are affecting us for this week? Oh, hold on. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So I feel like when it comes to the, like, anytime like Venus goes head and shifts, and then you have like this Mars and Venus like shifting into signs, that's when you start seeing a lot of kind of changes on an emotional level, the way you experience love, the way you experience your connections, the way you experience pleasure. Going into Venus and Capricorn, Capricorn tends to be a little bit more serious, a little bit more goal oriented, a little bit more grounded when it comes to relationships, as where Venus and Sag is a little more playful, can be a little flighty, can be, you know, like kind of like an in the moment type thing. Like, this switch goes from, oh, you know, you were just kind of sliding into my DMs, playing with my mind or whatever, but I actually want something a little bit serious currently. So there's like a disconnect there. For some people, I feel like there are actual, like, a lot of emotions involved in the situation at hand. I feel like a lot of people are going through just a lot of emotional transformations, and I'm not really surprised, just because of the way that the planets are relating right now. There is just like there, especially for this week, starting with Venus, I'm sorry, with the moon being in Virgo, then we're going to be moving into moon in Libra, which really highlights partnerships. It highlights how we relate to our partners, how we communicate with our partners, how we work together with our partners, but also highlights how we disconnect from our partners as well. There is kind of like a give and take from this energy being present. And I do feel like there are some shedding, some releases that are happening this particular week as we kind of approach this, you know, new moon in Capricorn. We have to go through the moon being in Scorpio as well, allowing for like these changes, these transformations that come to us on an emotional level. And I feel like if you look at the cards, like, oh my God, the cards are just like in your face about it too. Right off the bat, we have the World, the Lovers, the Six of Cups. Then we have the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Like, right off the bat, it's just like in your face. There is this shift happening with our connections. And for some people, this shift is kind of a little bit hard because it's a past life thing. You guys have it's a longer connection. It might actually even be a soulmate situation that is getting disconnected. And it's just out of, it's kind of out of a misalignment is the way that I'm going to explain it to you guys. There is some misalignment coming out here, and this is coming from Saturn. And obviously Saturn is going to take a huge focus when it comes to Capricorn season, because it rules Capricorn. And so there is a highlight of that Saturnian energy that comes out during Capricorn season that bears to ask the question, Are you happy? Is this long term? Are you going to keep entertaining this? Is this something that you want to commit yourself to for like the remainder of this year, the remainder of the next couple of years? Like, do you feel like you can walk the same road together, or are you in completely two different paths? The questions start right off the bat because Saturn is like sitting here like, I'm here to teach you a lesson here. I'm here to complete a cycle. I'm here to end something. This is an ending. This is a closure in many ways. If you allow yourself to kind of have this closure, because I do feel like some people will have a hard time with it on an emotional level this week. Especially because when it comes to love, romance, and those type of emotional connections that we have with others, it's really sensitive. It's a really sensitive topic. People get really kind of closed off, or they get really protective about how they feel, and others not understanding how they feel. And oh my God, you can never understand why I'm still like have feelings, or the connection was this and that at X, Y, Z, and B. When in reality, all the amount of groveling and like trying to sell yourself the situation does not change that the situation has to end. Okay, so it is this kind of ending that's happening here. There is this kind of like, you can't make this work anymore. There's no amount of intention and emotion that is going to shift the circumstance. Like, you're not going to be able to shake this. There's nothing else that you can do. There's no more that you can add. Like, it's just not, especially when it comes to relationships. And I do want you guys to understand this. And of course, this relates to everything, our relationship with our jobs, our bosses, and et cetera, et cetera. However, when it comes to people versus like a business thing, versus like a professional thing, where it's like, it's a position opening up, or you want to like, quit and break your relationship with the company, or whatever the case may be, those things are a little bit more, they're structured. So it's different. It's like when you feel like you need to move on and change careers, like you don't have the emotional depth of feeling when you're ending a relationship, when you're like leaving, withdrawing, and saying, you know what, this is not working. Those two things, while they're, our relationships to an extent, relationship with people can be really messy because we are emotionally tied to these people. We're emotionally connected. We feel the depth of the connection. We feel like we can't live without the person. Like, when was the last time that you were like, I can't live without this job? Like, it's not something that is logically said. It's not something that's logically stated, especially if you're not doing what you're meant to do in this lifetime, especially if you're not following your passion and stuff like that. Like, nobody's like, oh my God, I can't live without this. Like, unless you're like doing what it is that you love to do. And so there is this kind of emotional aspect where there's a lot of emotions there, but in your head, it's like there's no other way to work it out. There's nothing that can be said to alleviate or compensate. And there's this sensitivity here. There's like this innocence, this sensitivity that's coming up from this week, from our emotional state and how we relate to others. And there's definitely a lot of pain there. And I feel like ultimately we're going to have to try to focus on our emotional healing for this week, and support ourselves emotionally for this week. That's where we need to find our like calibrated. We really, really need to make sure that our emotional health is intact, especially because of all the other cards that we got. Okay, let's just even talk about it. First of all, you are lovable. So for those who feel like they're ending a relationship, they're ending and separating, and then they don't feel like, oh, maybe they fell out of love, or maybe like they just don't care for them anymore, and you're just feeling and judging yourself in this kind of light where it's just like, you shouldn't even be in that mindset. You shouldn't even be breaking yourself apart or yourself down just because you're not connected to somebody else. That makes no sense. That's not productive. That doesn't bring healing to you. That doesn't bring love to you. That doesn't bring peace to your spirit. It just creates a lot of internal chaos, and it causes a lot of more pain than you would have need to like experience within the moment. Like, there's just some things that you don't need to think about. And one of those things is, oh my God, I'm not lovable. Like, oh, I'm boring, or I'm not a good partner, or I must suck because they don't want to be with me, like stuff like that. Like, you don't want to have to put yourself there, because there's a way to accept not being in alignment with somebody else without bringing and knocking yourself down. And this is why we're getting the you are lovable. Okay. And it says, love who you are as you're created perfectly. Everything about your true self is beautiful. And this is important to understand and process, because even if this is happening because of a mistake that you made, some things are like perfect and divine timing, especially if some people can't deal with the mistakes that you have made, or you haven't outgrown your own mistakes that you need to overcome, and you need to kind of process your mistakes and process your choices with the death of this actual relationship. It's like, hey, this is what happens when you continue to make this mistake over and over. This is what it costs here. This is what happens. This is how others react to what you're putting out. And so there is this kind of your lovable energy to remind yourself, like, hey, you still need to maintain your self-care. It's not about, completely breaking yourself apart, getting depressed, allowing yourself to stay in a funk and be frustrated with yourself, with your spirit, with your mind. Like, it's not about that. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you come out of it. It's not going to help you, be ready for the next thing that's coming your way. It doesn't help when you just break yourself down in that capacity. The next thing we're getting is emotional healing. We got this literally like 3 other times in this reading. I'm going to tell you right now. Emotional healing. Emotional healing. It is safe for you to let go of old emotional pain. By doing so, you allow your heart to mend. Heart chakra healing, it's something that we need to have a focus on for this week, because our heart space is going to be a little bit more sensitive. And this is whether or not you end a relationship or anything like that. It doesn't have to be like your actual relationship is ending. But it could also be a part of the way you relate to, or been struggling with overcoming something within a relationship is ending, and you're going to have to process that. And so, because emotionally we get tied to certain behaviors, certain things that kind of keep us grounded within those spaces, within those relationships that we feel comfortable. We're like very much like, okay, this is something that I can keep doing. This is something that I know to be true. Like, I hang with this person all the time. And then when you remove that aspect, there's pain involved, because there's like the missing, there's the like, oh my God, like, how did I spend my time? Like, just reflecting and then bringing up, adding more negativity into the situation from all of the reflection that you're doing, instead of trying to maintain your emotional health, your heart chakra health, and not adding any pain. Please make sure that you guys are keeping in mind that your heart chakra space really keeps and holds a lot of the emotional trauma that we have from lifetimes, and it creates a blockage in a way that we don't end up allowing pleasure and love to flow in again. So if you are actively, consciously allowing your heart chakra to kind of block in and just kind of get, feel sensitive enough to be like, oh, I'm tight, I'm gonna allow it to turn into a knot because I just don't feel so well, and you're not actually being reactive and trying to work with your heart chakra energy, you're gonna find yourself in a huge emotional like turmoil. You're just going to be all over the place. So it's really, really important to focus on our emotional healing, which literally came out like a bunch of times in this reading. We have emotional healing again coming up in the flowers from the dead oracle card. We also have attraction and lust, and I 1000% understand why this is coming up. The reason why attraction and lust is coming up is because a lot of the time, it takes for you to lose something in order for you to like have that moment where when you wish you were like not taking it for granted. Like, you start reflecting on, my God, it's almost like if you had like a car in a garage or something. You bought a car, but you barely used it, and you kind of had plans of taking a drive, going up to the mountain, going hiking, going, I don't know, on a road trip, and then you never actually got to do it. Your life got too busy, and then one day the car just like literally just stopped working, and you're just like, damn, I didn't really get to do everything that I wanted to do. I didn't really get to convey everything that I wanted to convey. I didn't get to tell this person what is it that I wanted them to know. Like they didn't really get to experience that for me. That's really frustrating on my behalf. Like there's like this need, it's almost like once we lose something, we find ourselves more attracted to that thing because it's not a choice that is ours anymore. That's the problem. It's like when you do not have something, you want it. Please remember that's also how manifestation works. You start thinking about, okay, what don't I have and what do I need and how do I bring it in? However, this is like almost like a backwards manifestation because you are releasing something. And so when you had something, you took it for granted, and then it had to be forced out of your energy, forced out of your spirit, forced out, period. Then what happens after that? You naturally, because you've been grounded in it for such a long time, you naturally say, oh my God, I miss this. Oh my God, I want this. Oh my God, wait. And then it's going to cause a lot of like the trying to make it work kind of energy. It's going to cause a lot of the, let's try this again. I don't want to lose this person. I don't want to lose this situation. Like, I just don't want to, I definitely, there is thoughts of taking things for granted. There's thoughts of wanting to kind of get a redo kind of vibe. And I do feel like there's this kind of attraction that's happening here. Like you still want what you're losing, which can be really, really frustrating. And I do feel like, again, it's more of a focusing on yourself time right now, because if you literally hyper focus on the situation, it's just going to stay stuck. You're going to stay stuck in that energy, and it's just going to be it's just going to be a whole funk. You're just going to be feeling like, oh, I want it, but I can't have it. And I can't have it because it's gone and they already made the decision, and I can't, like, you're not going to be able to budge this. And so Archangel Raphael says, get some fresh air. Okay, please get some fresh air. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me breathe easier in all ways. And I do feel like for you to feel a lot lighter, it is not the time or the week to kind of stay stuck in your house, or, you know, like brew all of your emotions in your house or in your room or whatever, and just kind of be stuck and just feeling all of these things. Go outside, go on a walk, go get some coffee, but like go get it. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna Uber Eats or whatever. No. Go take a walk, go get some actual fresh air, because especially if you kind of maintain yourself in a room space, you're going to funk up that space. And I do recommend that you guys either keep the windows open, pop some incense. Like, it needs to stay light in your spaces, because right now there is this kind of window of like all around me, there's just darkness, there's just black, there's just like this all of the thoughts, all of the things that I said, all of the things that could have been said, could have been done, all of these are thoughts that are just going to keep poking you, that are going to keep stabbing you on an emotional level. And so the best that you can do is try to allow yourself to breathe. Okay, try to allow yourself to connect with the elements. So go for a walk in the park, reground yourself, walk barefoot in the park, like do something that will connect you back to the earth itself, because there is this kind of, once you start to disconnect something that you've been grounded in for a while, and you start to disconnect from that, it feels a little shaky. It feels like you're kind of walking alone kind of thing. It feels like you're a little bit lost. It feels like you don't know where to take the next step. And so it's important for you to actually recalibrate yourself to the ground. This is one of the reasons why we did the meditation that we did earlier, because I wanted you guys to connect to your crystals, and for the crystals to actually show you what they're healing, okay, and what you need to heal for this week. The next thing that Archangel Raphael wants us to focus on for this week is inner authority. And it says, Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for supporting me as I take back my power and listen to my intuition, desires, and feelings. Okay, taking back your power. Taking back your power. Taking back your power. This is actually a really big deal, especially when it comes to endings in relationships and stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of the time people are in these type of connections and they kind of don't see how a huge part of them can be compromised within situations, within agreements, within different moments where you kind of lose your way a little bit. You lose your intention. You lose your purpose a little bit. Oh, I will tell you, you loves a story about a Pisces that I once knew. So there was this Pisces that I met last year. No. Yeah. Wait. No. No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before last year. Okay, I met this Pisces the year before last year. He um he recently, when I had met him, he was cool. He was like working on like music and stuff. Like he was just focusing on his like craft. But he has a really toxic ex-girlfriend, right? And um they've been like pretty much together before they kind of had this whole situation where they ended up getting into a fight, and the police were involved, and yeah, it was crazy. But they've been together for like over 10 years. They had broken up, and then the ex, she ended up like almost overdosing on heroin, and it just turned into this whole big deal. And so he felt compelled, his ex being an Aquarius, a very toxic Aquarius, if I can add, like super toxic Aquarius. And so this Pisces felt compelled to help the ex, because they known them for such a long time, and they feel bad for where they're at in life, and XYZ and being whatever. So I remember I remember that like she wanted me to do a reading for the both of them. And I didn't want to do the reading. Like my spirit was just like, I don't really want to do the reading, but you're asking me as like okay, like Abby, do me a solid or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'll do you a reading, but I'm not responsible for what spirit tells you. So I did a reading for them. Okay. And basically in the reading came out that they're not actually supposed to be together, and that she actually stops him from progressing in his craft with his music and all that stuff. Every time that she comes back into his life, he stops at his craft. He stops doing what he's supposed to be doing. He stops his what he was born to do in this lifetime. He completely stops that. Okay. She completely takes away all of that time, all of the even the emotions, or the intention to create, or the intention to work on the craft, completely is taken away by her presence in his life. And I told him that in the nicest way that I could. And it was really interesting to me how it kind of ended up happening, because I told them, I'm like, you guys are not really going to end up together, and if you do, it's going to be really toxic, because she's also affecting your money. That's another thing, because he's not working on his craft. His craft is also not able to provide for him. He's not able to have that source of income, because he's not working on his craft. Like all of the time is going to this person, to taking care of this person, to feeling bad for this person, because you have this connection that's been going on for a really long time. Okay, 10 years is a lot, guys. That's a long time. And so it was really funny to me, because during the reading, she's like, oh, well, I don't want to affect your music and stuff. And prior to the reading, she had told me that she was going to go take him somewhere to go get a ring, because they were going to get engaged. They didn't end up getting engaged, but hot damn, the things that occurred after that. Shortly after that, I would say like 2 months after that, they ended up breaking up, which nobody was surprised about. They ended up breaking up, and he like sent me a message, and he was like, because he actually recorded the reading, so he actually replayed it and was like, yo, Abby, everything you said came true. And I was like, well, and it turned into this kind of like, I'm working on music again. Do you mind if I use like a portion of it, like as an intro to a song, whatever? I was like, whatever. I don't care, just as long as you credit me for it, like obviously for using my voice, whatever. And this person started working on their craft again, doing shows, like actually doing the stuff, had money incoming. And then what happened this year? Actually, no, it was last year. In what was it? No, not November. It was December. In December, early December, he she ends up coming back into his life because she almost overdosed again. And her living situation was really bad. So she started to basically leech onto him again, using him for money, using him for like taking care of, and then his craft completely disappeared, stopped, completely deleted his whole entire page where he was actually working on his craft, completely gone, obliterated. The focus started, going back to the person, okay? And this person has a really bad reputation because he's also like a thief, and she's definitely a heroin addict, and then she got him hooked on heroin. So now he's not, literally, she's just in another place trying to recover, but also trying to take care of this toxic person at the same time. This is what I mean by inner authority, okay? Inner authority. When you're able to say, okay, this is not good for me. This has not been good for me. I recognize where my time and where my effort, while it had good intentions in those moments, right now where I currently am, I'm in a different place, and I need to work on A, B, C, D, B, because these are the things that I personally need to work on and develop and grow in my life. And this is what my passion is. And I'm going to take back control. You guys know I talk about self-mastery a lot, because a lot of the time it's all about self-mastery. 1000%. If you're looking at being stuck in a specific situation and finding yourself kind of lost in something else, or compromising your time or your energy and certain things with someone else, you will find that you're sacrificing a lot of the things that you actually need to do. And of course, it's all about balance. This is why Libra is what Libra is. Libra always signifies the scales. And while in many ways you can define the scales as different things, you can define them as your mind and being in balance with your emotions. You can also define it as you as a person allowing yourself to also be in balance with another person, and being calibrated in that way. But in order for things to be even, to be balanced, you can't just fully kind of compromise everything. You still need to meet in the middle. You both need to be thriving. You both need to be growing. You both need to be working on your craft. You both need to be excelling. If one person is just kind of giving more than the other, whether it be emotions, mind, effort, anything, okay, anything in that list, this creates an imbalance within that relationship. And once there's an imbalance, this is when Saturn comes in and says, okay, did you learn the lesson about this imbalance that you're currently going through, that this is not something that is stable, this is not something that needs to be calibrated in your life, because you are now out of balance because of this relationship imbalance that you're currently at. So how do you find your resolution to that? How do you alleviate for your time? Well, what Saturn is going to do as Father Time is say, okay, I'm going to give you time for yourself to rebalance yourself. And then once you're ready, and once you got yourself in a place where you're like, okay, I feel pretty balanced, I think I can handle a relationship right now, then that's when that comes in. Not before, but then. Because you have to make sure you have that inner authority, that you are balanced, that you have taken control back, that you are not like allowing yourself to get trapped in like the kind of the petty in the whole like process of like compromising, especially if it's something that you really didn't want to do in the first place, or something that you don't want to commit to. Just being honest, just being clear, and allowing you to grow with your partner, not growing against your partner, or your partner growing and you're just like in the shadows. Like, it makes no sense. And so it's all about self-mastery. It's all about allowing you to grow in a path with your partner. And if you see yourself like deviating from that, and your partner's just like going this way, and you're like, I need to go that way though, I really need to go that way, but you're really going this way, you have to accept that. No matter how much emotions are involved, when you logically sit down with yourself and say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna accept all of these things to be true because I don't have a choice, this is what the reality is, then that's when you see the shift happening with you on an emotional level internally, where you can actually feel it. That's when you feel your heart chakra being like, okay, we're a little vulnerable right now, but we're not completely broken. Okay, we're not tight and restrained, or feeling like really super sensitive. No, it's an understanding, it's an emotional understanding. And so we need to kind of, especially this week, take back a little bit of control, look at the imbalances that we have on a romantic level, on a relationship level, with the things that we've invested a lot of time in that are just no longer working in that way. And what are we going to do about it? How are we going to allow ourselves to heal and come back to ourselves in a really productive way, where we're like, okay, you know what, I'm ready for the next thing. I'm not hung up on this. I'm not still in pain from this. I'm not like, it served its purpose. I learned what I learned. This was needed. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing this person into my life. I learned a lot. I'm very grateful. Please allow me to help me also to heal from this. Please help me through the process of this healing, the emotional healing, and the transition that I'm currently going through. Ashe and good night. And you keep doing that prayer until it just becomes true to your spirit, and you're just like, this is what it is. I feel comfortable with the words that I'm even stating. That's where we need to go. Now, Archangel Gabriel was like, okay, first card, let go. I'm telling you, the archangels be petty sometimes, but you guys know we talk about this every week, and it says, release the desire to control this situation and leave it up to God's infinite wisdom to resolve everything beautifully. And sometimes the solution doesn't look like what you want it to be. That's kind of like the other thing. Like, we have different things and different expectations and different wishes and different intentions that we would like love for something to be exactly in this way. But then the universe is like, okay, that's great that you want that and all, but it's also not in alignment with what the other things that you want to do. So we can't keep this. If you want to do this, you also can't keep this. That's just the reality of the situation. So that's when the letting go happens. Then Archangel Gabriel said, detox time. I told you, they be petty sometimes. Release toxins from your body, mind, and diet. Okay, and diet. Release toxins from your mind, body, and diet. This is really important because if you have been, especially when you're kind of at this breaking point, when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, you can overeat. You know, you have that ice cream moment from what's it called, Bridget Jones' Diary, where she's just like in the couch like eating a whole bucket of ice cream because she's just like emotionally like wrecked and miserable from her relationship issues. It's kind of like that when you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat my feelings out. No, eat things that are actually nourishing. I would actually recommend eating more greens during this week. Why? Because green is a color of the heart chakra. So you want to eat the color of the chakra in order to support its healing as well. So try it, whether it be a smoothie, whether it just be adding some spinach to your food, whether it be like even doing like a little lime water or something like that. Just adding that green to your food can be very cleansing, very healing if you work with it correctly. Because your body is definitely going to be feeling all of the emotions, and it's just going to, the choices that you're going to make, you're going to be punishing yourself while you're kind of going through the process of doing the whole ice cream thing and like overeating or just getting junk food or feeling like shit and allowing you to consume more shit. You're going to be treating your body like shit, and then your body's going to feel bad, and then you're going to feel bad when you look in the mirror. It's an endless cycle of bullshit that you do not want to entertain. So make sure that you like say, okay, you know what, I'm letting go. I'm also going to go on a detox from whether it be TV, whether it be from eating really bad, or whether it be like you just want to start like, you know what, I'm going to do yoga every day for this week. I'm going to support my body for this week. I'm going to eat, I'm going to do a couple smoothies, a smoothie a day, on the highest point at noon. I'm going to do a smoothie every time at noon for this week. I'm going to support my body in its nutrients for this week. The second you set that intention, it's like, oh wow, you are going to feel supported. Why? Because you don't need to depend on anybody else to support you. Okay. That's where we're getting that inner authority energy. Inner authority. When you decide this is what you need, that is what you need. When you decide this is the toxicity that I need, you are adding that toxicity back into your body. So it's really important for you to reevaluate and say, okay, you know what? I'm changing the intention. I'm going to focus on myself, my relationship with myself, my inner balance, my healing, my health. Like, I'm not going to entertain any type of weird energy, any type of like angst or cravings for like anything that I'm gonna regret doing later. The second if you're like, oh my god, I really want ice cream, but I know I'm gonna regret it later, then don't do it. Like set the intention, like, no, you know what? I'm not gonna be, future me is gonna like have a moment with me where I'm just gonna be like, why did I do that? So don't do it. Just don't do it. Cleanse, release, cleanse, breathe. Okay. And then from Archangel Gabriel, we also have allow yourself to receive. And it says, open your arms to the welcome blessings and answer prayers that God is sending you. And this is what I was talking about earlier when it comes to us wanting things, as far as us setting intentions for things, us wanting to, you know, bring other things in, whether it be different forms, whether it be like with our finances, whether it be like with how we want to be treated in a relationship. Because if you've been setting intention to be treated a certain way by your partner and your partner is not complying energetically, spiritually to that, then somebody else is going to get called into your life to treat you in that way. That's kind of the thing. The second you start setting intentions and some whatever that thing is can't be can't adjust to your intentions, that thing has to get removed because it's not it. That ain't it. And so allow yourself to create space for new things to come in. Allow yourself to create space for newness, new relationships, new moments, new connections, new experiences. Okay, like your life is not ending tomorrow, so allow yourself to still make space for that. Like don't just get stuck in like the past and like that's all you can think of. I honestly, as much as I am very reflective within time and everything like that, I've always told myself that I'm never going to have a midlife crisis because I'm going to do everything that I goddamn want in my life, while I am like throughout my whole entire life, actually, because even when I'm freaking 60, I'm gonna be flying to places and doing crazy stuff. But I always told myself I wasn't gonna have any type of regrets with my choices, and this is how I know I'm never gonna have a midlife crisis. I'm setting that intention real early because midlife crises were created by people who allowed themselves to be unfulfilled in their lives. They allowed themselves to stay stuck in different time periods or super focus their life into one area of their life, whether it was career, whether it was marriage, and then they get to a point where they look at their lives and they're like, oh my God, I never got to do that thing that I love. I never got to work on that. I had this idea and that idea and I never got to do it. You have that authority over your life. You make your choices. You state what it is that you want to do when you want to do it. You are the one who controls your world. And so if that is to be true, then you have to also understand when you're setting yourself up to fail and when you're setting yourself up to win. And you can easily be setting yourself up to fail when it comes to love, when it comes to your heart chakra. And by the way, this is one of those things that like, and take it from me because I do a lot of past life readings with people, the heart chakra space holds your past traumas from past lifetimes. This is where they are, okay? And so I've seen people have trauma from other lifetimes over the smallest thing. It could have been the smallest moment. It could have been like a relationship that like didn't work out for whatever reason, or there was unrequited love and it was just like how much you wanted that person, it just was not meant to be. Like so many things are created from the smallest portions of your life. That's where like this trauma can build. And this is one of those weeks where if you don't actually work on yourself to release properly, all of these kind of thoughts and all of these kind of like things that you're building up on an emotional level within your heart, it's just going to stay stuck there. And that's not going to be relieved until you set intention for that to be released. And that could be in this lifetime or that could be in a different one. So I suggest we try to be as productive as possible with our heart energy, because at the end of the day, we are trying to maintain a happy and abundant life. And you can either choose to be abundantly miserable or you can choose to be abundantly thriving and growing and enjoying the hell out of your life. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna have a good life. I'm gonna do everything I want to do. I'm gonna achieve and have all the success. Hashtag Capricorn energy, hashtag Capricorn goals. But I'm trying to have a good ass life. I'm trying to enjoy every second of my life. I'm trying to just live. I'm trying to do what I'm also meant to do in this lifetime as well. And I do feel like it's all about having that inner authority, having that self mastery focus where you're just like, you know what? I'm in control. I'm in control. That includes in control of your emotions too. Um, and shoot, if there are things that you learn to like about another person and that you wish you still had that kind of however it was, like as far as being treated by a person, or like if you just appreciated that person because they highlighted a certain part of you or your connection together that just works, you can set intention for that to be reflected in a partner that is meant to last longer in your life. It all comes back to that, honestly. Um, our planetary influences for the week are Mars, Earth, and Neptune. Okay, so make sure you're looking at your transits for this week, because I mean we literally talked about this earlier, but Neptune 100%, because that's very much with that water energy, those emotional energies, the subconscious energies. You might be having, especially this week, some very vivid dreams. Our dreams can be very haunting sometimes, and I do think that even if not all of them come through with a message, they do a lot of the time, whether or not it be a message or something that you need to be aware of on a futuristic kind of things that are coming up, but it can also just really shine a light on how you're feeling internally, whether it be your fears or whether it be things that you need to process or things that you're trying to navigate on an emotional level, but while you're sleeping. So make sure you're paying attention to your dreams this week. Try to maintain grounded. I'm telling you guys, go outside, get some fresh air, spend some time with nature. It's Capricorn season. It is specific for that like root chakra healing. It's specific for that earthy, working with the earth element. So make sure you are doing so. And you know Mars is going into Taurus soon, so I don't even gotta tell y'all. Okay, wait, I saw a comment. Do you have chakra bowls recommendations for the heart chakra? I have a crystal heart chakra bowl right now, the singing bowl right now, which I got on Amazon, and I really love it. I really love it. I just got the the throat chakra one, and I'm going to be getting the other bowls soon. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be doing some meditations with it, but I highly recommend doing heart chakra meditations, especially during this week, because we need that extra like love. We need that extra love. We need that extra support on an emotional level. So I am going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you all for coming to this week's weekly healing circle. I had so much fun. Definitely do not forget to check out the Patreon. The link will be down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And just launched the membership, so you guys can check that out in the join button. You can see all of the perks and all that stuff, all of that jazz. And yeah, I will definitely see you loves in the next video. Have a beautiful night. Bye.